So here's a big question. What happens when you take ancient scripture and crash it into cutting-edge technology? I mean, faith leaders are really grappling with this right now. They're trying to figure out how to connect with younger generations in a world that's just full of digital noise. How do you make texts that are thousands of years old feel relevant today? Well, let's dive into it.
And the challenge here is it's pretty clear, right? Think about it. On one hand, you've got the traditional way of doing things. These thick, heavy books, super long commentaries, sitting in quiet pews. But on the other hand, you've got the world that young people are actually living in. It's all about swipes and scrolls, real-time feeds, and this constant battle for your attention against a million different ads. So how in the world do you bridge that gap?
Okay, so what this all boils down to is a massive generational disconnect. The old methods, they're just not cutting it for a generation that's, grown up with a smartphone basically attached to their hand.
So, to try and tackle this, people are turning to two of the biggest buzzwords in tech right now: artificial intelligence and, you guessed it, the metaverse. The whole idea is pretty simple, actually. You've got to meet young people where they already are, which is online, and speak a language they actually get.
All right, first up, let's talk about AI. And look, we're not talking about some kind of robot preacher here, okay? Think of it more like a personal guide, something to make these ancient texts actually feel relevant to your life right now. And just look at the kind of questions somebody might ask. It's not some super formal theological deep dive, right? It's really, really personal. What does this passage mean for my life today? And that's exactly what AI is being designed to do here. Take that ancient wisdom and translate it into practical advice for right now.
I mean, just imagine this for a second. You have an AI that can instantly break down really complex language, give you all the historical context you need, and then tell you how it might apply to your life. It could even whip up a devotional guide tailored specifically for you, based on what you're asking or even how you're feeling.
So what this does really is it becomes a bridge. I mean, for anyone who's ever felt a little intimidated by those huge, heavy study books, or maybe felt a bit shy in a formal study group, well, an AI chat gives you a totally private, non-judgmental space to just start asking questions. No pressure. Now, there's a really crucial word of caution that comes with all this. The folks behind these ideas are super clear on one thing. AI is a tool. It's not a god. It's there to help you understand things, but it's definitely not a replacement for real human mentors, and it is certainly not some kind of divine being itself. Okay, so that's AI. Now let's switch gears to the second piece of the puzzle, the metaverse. So if you think of AI as your personal guide, the metaverse is pitched as the immersive world you explore with that guide. The whole point here is to take scripture from just being words on a page and turn it into this shared, emotionally powerful, and, well, living experience. But what does that actually look like in practice? Well, imagine putting on a VR headset, and instead of just reading about the Garden of Eden, you're actually walking through it. Or instead of reading about the parting of the Red Sea, you're standing there, witnessing it happen. See, the goal isn't just to make a cool visual effect. It's to create a genuinely powerful emotional experience. And this whole concept leads to this idea of, quote, digital sanctuaries. Basically, these are safe, inclusive virtual spaces where churches can host things like Bible studies or prayer groups. And the cool part is, people can join in from literally anywhere in the world. For a young person who maybe feels a little disconnected from a traditional church building, a space like this can feel way more accessible and a lot less intimidating. And this is a really key point. It's all about empowerment. These digital spaces give young people a real sense of ownership over their own learning. They can organize their own study groups, build their own communities, basically do it all on their own terms. So let's put it all together. When you combine that personalized guidance you get from AI with the immersive shared communities of the metaverse, what you get is a pretty clear vision for what the future of faith could look like. It's all framed as this big movement of re-education and empowerment, using tech to just smash through some of those old barriers. And the potential benefits here are actually pretty huge. We're talking about tools that can remove the barriers of geography and language, connecting someone in Africa with someone in America, just like that. They can overcome cultural divides. And for somebody who's maybe drifted away from faith, this could offer a completely fresh start, free from any of the old stigma. And it's because of all this potential that there's a really direct call to action here. The message is pretty clear. faith communities need to see these tools, not just as some cool new gimmick, but as an absolute necessity for reaching a generation that lives, breathes, and communicates online. And this next idea really just sums the whole vision up perfectly. The point isn't that the technology changes the core message. Not at all. It's the technology can completely change the delivery, transforming what might feel like a static text into something dynamic, a truly living experience.
So all of this leaves us with a really big question to chew on. As these technologies get more and more woven into the fabric of our lives, it's really not a question of if they're going to reshape these ancient traditions, it's a question of how. And that, for sure, is something to think about.